Okay, in our last class, we are discussed what about the routing policies, right? So simple routing policy, simply you are just redirecting your website to different servers based on the IP addresses, the simple routing policy. And next we had discussed about the weightage. So based on the weightage you provide the region of the server you want to redirect your traffic, you can set the weightage of that and you can redirect the traffic. And the next one we had discussed about the latency based routing. The latency based routing was like the based on the network latency. So when you ping the server, how frequently, how fast the server is getting accessed. Like if the server is take less milliseconds to connect, like 45 milliseconds here in the example, and it's given 180 milliseconds. So it connects the network which is the lowest network latency, the lowest network latency. So route 233 will send the traffic to the here in this example because it has the lower latency. Remember lower latency when we do a ping a server, right? It will display the what is the latency of the network, how fast you are able to connect to the server, your network speed. Based on that it will connect. Okay, so when it will be useful, guys, so
So,
why we need to set. Sorry.
so latency in the sense, latency in the sense, can you take like response time, the server response time?
Exactly, the server response time or the network, like that's called the network latency, network responses, right? When you connect to the network, the server responses. So that is how we have no, check our network speed, our server latency or server speed, right? If you ping the server, you the server response, how fast the server is responding. Okay, so the
Okay.
lower latency is the where the traffic will go, right? So can you tell any one of you, can you tell when and which scenario we can go with this setup? Which scenario we can go?
Location based.
Okay.
Location based with multiple firewall if it is there. Suppose we are logging into the system and we are pinging. So if it is going through multiple firewall, then it may be slow.
Okay.
So suppose
Maybe.
from Chennai location, I'm logging into a server hosted in Paris and it is passing through suppose multiple layer of firewall, then the response may be slow. But in a different location, if the user is there and they're pinging, there may be a less layer of intermediary connection through which it is connecting the server. Maybe
Uh,
based on that.
yeah. So okay, that is what you are talking about. The setup what is done by us, and based on that, the network slowness or server slowness is happening. But when we need this architecture to be set up, like see if you have multiple servers, okay, the multiple server, so customers and people, they will not wait for your, suppose think about the Amazon or Flipkart, okay, an e-commerce site. So when you are going to search a product, so I should not wait for the product to be displayed within 1 minute or 30 seconds or something. I would expect that it should be displayed within milliseconds of time, right? Within fractions of seconds of time, it should be displayed to me. So if the server they have hosted their application and placed their application, it has lowest or highest latency. Okay, if you are connecting to the server, maybe the server could be whenever, suppose you are in India and you are pinging, you are just connecting to the Amazon and that server is nearest to your location, obviously that will be faster. And the server which is the latest location, later location, like faster path, that will be like, it will be when you ping in the server, it will be slower. So based on that, actually the setup companies or e-commerce sites or whatever the application which is high demand and the customer will not expect. So the more best example is trading applications. So the trading applications, it actually, the trading happens right within the fractions of seconds. Even if you blink your eyes, that time also the trading the whenever see the when you are investing on something, and suppose think about the forex exchange, right? If you are putting in the dollar, right, the prices will be like 75 rupees, 75 rupees something, the dollar value. And when you are going to buy something, and if your network is very slow and you are going to buy bid for that, and by the time it get booked, it will be increased or decreased, so it will be a loss, right? So that's why the companies and the any companies like the trading platform or the e-commerce site, they make sure like whatever the things they keep it, there should not be any latency, network latency or server latency or whatever it is. Okay, so that's why they have to set up their architecture like this. Okay, the next one is the failover routing policy. The failover routing policy is similar to the load balancing. It is similar to the load balancing. So when we are covering the load balancing, someone was asking, right, how this can be done in the website or in the server based or something we're asking, right? So here we'll cover this load balancing, that is the failover routing policy. We can through this load balancing things, and see the load balancing here. If you the weightage one, right, the weightage one, based on the weightage you are redirecting the traffic, based on the policy you are redirecting the traffic, and again here based on the active or based on the app server availability we are redirecting the traffic. So how we'll do that? So what is this failover routing policy? Failover routing policies are used when you want to create an active and passive setup. The architecture in your organization, if you want to set up as active and passive, then you have to go with this failover routing policy. Suppose we want to set up a primary site like our main primary site and secondary DR site. Okay, the route 53 will monitor the health of our primary site using health check and will fail over to secondary if the primary site is down. So that is obvious. So using this route 53 also you can do this kind of setups. Okay, the policy, this kind of setups you can do. So simple examples here I have just given here. The example here, if someone from Mumbai is going to connect the active site, suppose our Mumbai location, and if it is goes down, what will happen? The traffic will directly come to our southeast to that Singapore region. Okay, so this is how it works. So the who will take care everything, this route 53 or route 53, this guy will do all the health check of our active server. If the active server is down, it will automatically fail over to the passive one, that is the secondary one. Okay, so the next one is geolocation routing policy. The see the concept and the policy details, whatever I'm just telling, it's very simple. You don't have to do anything. You just have to understand how it is happening and what is the concept. The concept is very clear because you are dealing all these things and thing in your day-to-day life, right? Failover, DR, fear, or everything you are facing every day in your company, right? So the next one is the geolocation routing policy. So this is very important, guys, because nowadays all the companies, all the global applications, the company who is targeting the customer globally. Okay, remember the company or the organization or applications or software who are targeting globally, the customers globally, they have to set up their websites or set up their applications in the geolocation routing policy. What is that? The geolocation routing lets you choose where your traffic will be sent based on the geographic location of your users. Example here I have given, like suppose you want to all queries from USA will be routed to the server configured for American customer in their local language and local currency. Okay, and your application hosted on those servers may be specific for the customers, specific to their language and prices, like Amazon, Flipkart, e-commerce sites, they do, right? The very good examples we can give it. So how geographical location, think about our again the e-commerce site Amazon, and we are in India, and whenever we are going to buy something, so what will happen when you search for some product or buy for some product, it will connect to the server where it is basically meant for Indian people. Okay, all these prices and everything you will get it in the rupees. All and the products also available for Indian market. Similarly, if someone from USA is going to buy something from the e-commerce site of Amazon, what will happen? That server will redirect to the that website will redirect to the server where all the product information or application is mainly designed for USA people. Okay, so that's how you have to, based on the geographic location. Based on the geographic location, you have to set up the routing policy. Okay, here one example. Here's the here there. Okay, so suppose someone from India, whatever I just told you, is going to buy something. So Route 53 will decide. First, it will check what it will check. It will check the location of the user. Suppose this person is going to buy, and where is that person? Based on the geographical location, and it will just do a check where this person is from by checking his IP addresses and all. So it will find it out like the location is from India, and it will go to the server which is hosted in Mumbai locations. Okay, and suppose someone from USA is going to buy something, and that will be redirect to Northern Virginia based on the location. So who will decide? Everything will be decided by the Route 53, but the setup you have to do only. You have to do the setups, but decision will be taken by the Route 53. The checks and everything will be taken by Route 53. Okay, so that's all, guys, about Route 53 and the policies we discussed. Okay, so if you have any doubt, we can discuss. And the lab exercise we already have covered the policies, and I showed you how to do the setup. The similar kind of setups also we have to do for this. So you have to only in the policy sections you have to only select the policies and do the setups. Okay. So anything, guys, we'll discuss on Route 53 or
Small doubt.
yeah, yeah, please.
In this geographic location, so what is the main difference between latency and geography? Because even latency also, Route 53 will decide based on the response time,
Okay.
and here it is checking based on the location.
Location.
So both would be the same logic, right?
No, no. Okay, let me just explain you. So the latency based, okay, the latency based means, so if you have five servers, okay, leave about five servers. If you have two servers, okay, and both of the two servers are in the same region, suppose you are an Indian application developer, and you are a company which is targeting Indian people only. Obviously, you will keep your servers in India, either one in Chennai or one in Bangalore, right? Two servers you kept it. The thing is, the people whoever hitting your site, they should not face any delay. So how the network will be decided, how the Route 53 will decide based on the latency. Suppose the Chennai server is faster than the Bangalore server, so the request will redirect to the Chennai server. That means the customer have not be worry or delay or wait for the product to be displayed or get the response from the server. So based on the latency, it will just transfer the request traffic to the server. But in this case, based on the geographic location, which is entirely different, the both of the logic is totally different. It is not related. It is totally different. This is based on the location. That's why Indian people, the network will go to the, you have to set up the, it should go to the Indian server where is situated in Mumbai. And the location, the people who are in USA should go to the server which is in Northern Virginia or anywhere in the USA, right? So that is totally different. Latency based and geographical location. It looks like, see, whatever we discussed so far are equal. If you think about, if you correlate, right, all are same kind of concept you are taking, but you have to understand what exactly your requirement and what you are going to set up.
Yeah, Ranjit, got it. And one more small doubt.
Yeah, yeah.
In this geography location, suppose for example, if I'm taking Amazon website,
Hmm.
entire world are using, suppose entire world is using Amazon website.
Yes.
So in this case, do I need to configure all countries like suppose if India people are using means it has to redirect to Mumbai. If USA means not Virginia. If China
Mhm.
people means it had to go to that server and
Yeah.
Japan means like that. Do I need to configure?
Exactly. Suppose, forget about this e-commerce or Amazon site. Suppose today or tomorrow you are going to make your own e-commerce site. Suppose you made your own e-commerce site and you want to target suppose three countries. Suppose three countries: India, USA, and China. So what you have to do? See, all these countries have different product, different people, different currency, and everything different. And you want a service, either you can make it as one language, one currency, that is dollar, and it will be converted based on the people who are buying. There are few sites, right? There are few companies, few products. What they're doing, you can see there, whatever you are going to buy, they are converting into to our Indian rupee, like Amazon, itself doing. If you go to build something, right? If you go to build something, what is it doing? It getting converted, it is displaying everything in English, and it is displaying everything in dollar, right? But when you are going to buy, it will convert for you in Indian rupee. It will convert to Indian rupee. Either you can go in that logic, or you can put same applications in different servers, same applications in different servers. What will happen then? Based on the location, geographic locations, you want, suppose Chinese people should redirect to the Chinese server where the application is designed for Chinese people, and the database is holding Chinese product. And same thing for USA, the database will be designed, and the website will be designed for USA people only, and everything will be displayed based on the region, right? You have to do it. Or singly, if you are a very small organization and you don't want to spend, because setting up a server and doing it is very expensive, right? So if you don't want to do that, if you want to have a global applications globally situated in any one location, and you are targeting the customer globally, so what will do? You'll put just one common server, make it generic, language is English, currency is dollar. That's good. And based on the things, it will convert the price based on the foreign exchange, and it will display the rate. So got it?
Okay. Yeah, got it, got it. Thanks for more information.
Okay, guys. So we are covered Route 53. If you have, because that is practicing Route 53, you have to pay for some for that, because that is not free. You have to buy the domain. You have to host it in the hosted zone, and create the records. If you want to learn, then you have to buy a domain. Okay, just go for a domain, and you have to do. I showed you with my domain creating the records and all, but for your own practice, you have to, either you have to buy one domain to make sure. And I always see, you're going to pay for one time, so just do R&D, go for any domain which is very attractive domain, like by your name. Like I have my name, ranjitswain.com. Based on that, you can also go for your own domain based on your name, because when you have more experience, people will expect at least you should have one, your own website. You should have your one website. That's why in 2018 I made this before I leaving BNP. So that time I had created all these websites. Okay, so at least you should have one website. Create a website. It's very easy, and also it will keep you engaged. First thing is it will keep you engaged to do something. You'll get practice. You'll do something new stuff. See, working on DevOps, working in development, working in production support does not matter. when you get your own satisfaction doing something which is not related to your work. That's what I do actually. I like it to do. I don't do only my work. I do lots of things which is not related to my work, which I feel good, which I feel satisfied. That I do. Okay. Same things also you have to apply in your life. Then only you have to learn something. Otherwise, it will not be so easy to learn some new stuff. Okay. Only reading and memorizing it will not help us. Doing, practicing, applying in their life, that will only help you. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's move on to our next topic, that is VPC. Okay, let me just log into my console.
So we need to learn HTML to start our website, right?
See, this entire website, whatever I have written is totally HTML, CSS, and simple JavaScript. Simple JavaScript. HTML, CSS is the base of any web applications or websites. Without that, you cannot do it, right? So you have to learn some HTML, but it's very easy to learn. See, it's very easy to learn HTML. See, you'll not believe this HTML. When I was doing BTech, that time only I was doing something small applications, but I never learned HTML fully. I never learned HTML fully, but still, whenever I want to do something, I just entirely based on the. But you should only know the logic. Suppose I want to design this page. I want what needs to be done. First thing, you have to put your ideas. I have made three fields here. One, two, three. First field I have just given some descriptions here. Second field I want to put my image. Third field I just want to some progress bar. So you have to design how to do that. Then you can just go to the Google, search for it. You'll get everything. Everything I got it from the Google, guys, because I don't know HTML fully. I know partially 20-30% of HTML, and the rest I get it from the internet. Okay, so
One more thing, Ranjit, is there available of template website templates?
exactly, it will be there will be freely hundreds of templates. You can find it out in the internet. So I got some one template which I redesigned it, and based on my
Okay, okay.
requirement, I
You will
redesigned
have, I think direct template will be there, where you can directly copy paste and you edit your stuffs.
exactly.
Sample page will be there.
There are thousands of templates you
Yes.
get it in the internet. You just have to do what you want. That's all. You need to know what you are going to do and just search for it. You will get thousands of templates. Few will be that maximum will be free, and few will be priced like the applications which mainly for e-commerce or something which is highly back-end work is done. They will be charged for something, but you can just go for free. There are many applications which are free. You can go, but first thing is you have to spend some time. You have to spend some time. If you don't spend some time, then you will not know. Even though you get the template, you cannot modify it. Template, you will get the template, that's okay, but modifying the template also, you should know where exactly the HTML, what HTML you need to modify, what CSS file you need to modify. Otherwise you cannot redesign it. It will be little difficult and it will take days of time to do that. But if you are already familiar with little familiar, like 10-20% if you know, or 30% if you know HTML, CSS, then it will be easy for you to modify. Okay, guys, 1 second, let me log in. I'm just showing you. See, all my work actually I put it here. See, here one website, here one website, here one website. All my websites I have designed only, but this template I got it from somewhere. See, I have. Okay, it is keeping. See, this is one template. I got it so 3 or 4 years back. I designed for this our company. This is our company, and this is hosted in GoDaddy. This is hosted in GoDaddy. Okay, this is one template which I designed only. It's very simple. We have to just see what you want exactly and what template is best suit for your work. And another template I did something marlinebluetech.com, right? This is from website. See, this is another template, and I remodified it. And I spent some time. I spent some days of time to do that. It's not like overnight you will do it. No, it will take some time, and you have to be patient to do that. This is one, and there is another one also there. MB Polychain, right? I think. There is another one for our poultry business. So this business is our prawn business, and this is our poultry business. And this is my tech business. So all I have done is spend time and just redesign the software. That's all. Nothing else. You have to give time, otherwise it will not work. And everything you will not believe. I have only got one domain, sorry, one hosting for MB Aquatech DOM, which is GoDaddy, and the rest actually in Amazon. Ranjit Wai and this Malin Blue Tech is Amazon, and this is also GoDaddy, but it is not a hosted thing. It is redirection thing. Only I have got the subdomain, that is mbpolity.in. It is hosted on top of this main domain. But when people will search for mbpolity.in, they will it will redirect from here. It will redirect from mbarchitect.com to mbpolity.in. See, no one can understand what is this actually. It's simply mbpolity.in, but it is hosted on top of this server. I have just done some redirection thing, and you should understand how to get that. Okay, so this business actually wedding. So see here, this everything I got it somewhere. The template I redesigned based on our work, and then okay, fine. So let's move on to the login. Levels. Is this WC? Okay, so what we'll discuss today, we'll discuss about the VPC. So what is VPC, guys, and how to go for that? So far, whenever we create any server, what we have done, we have simply 1 second. Let me just close everything and reopen. It's not opening properly. Okay, sir. So, guys, before that, let me show you. So, when we just go and create a server, right? What we need? We need a server to be placed in a location. So just think about a real-time example. When you are going to construct a house, what you need? You need a land, right? You need a place. You need a location where you want to construct your house. And once you get the land, based on the land, you have to design your own house and the communications. You have to then decide how to go to your house, the address, like the communication, the road, and everything you have to make it, right? Similarly, whenever you are going to host one server, you need a network place. You need a network place where you have to host your server, and how you will connect to your server, what kind of security you have to put it, who can access it and who will not access it. Similarly, whenever you are constructing your house, how you are securing your house from the theft. You'll put CCTV camera, you'll put the security guard, you'll put dogs, and whatever you want. That is the extra securities you are putting in your house. Same thing, we are going to get it here also. Same concept. Whatever you're doing, just relate everything in your real-time work and you'll easily understand. Okay, so think about this server, whatever we hosted, suppose this particular Jenkins server I have hosted, and where I have hosted, I have hosted one of the free VPC. So this is one of the VPC. This is not free, sorry, this is not free VPC, this is default VPC. In the default VPC provided by Amazon, provided by Amazon. So see the difference. I'm just telling you one difference here. Buying a land, construct your own house, keeping all security, it's all your responsibility because you are going to get your own. But if you are going to buy a house in a society, going to buy a flat or house in a society, so what you are going to do? You are just buying one BHK or two BHK house in that society, but they you will not responsible for the surrounding, responsible for security, not responsible for any other maintenance, because you are just having, just you have to paying for maintenance, paying for security, paying for any other things, but you are just renting or buying the house in that society. Everything is already there, but you just go went there and already built servers, built house, built surrounding, built location, built security, but you are just buying that house. That is what relocate, just relate this to the default VPC. Default VPC is something your society which is already created, and the server is suppose a room which you are going to buy or put it into the society, or buying or rent it from the society. Same thing. But now what we are going to do, we are going to purchase our own land now, going to construct our house, going to put CCTV, going to put security. Okay. So what is that actually? What is VPC? First we need to understand. So let's do that. What is VPC? Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, allow you to provision a logically isolated section of the Amazon Web Service Cloud. So in the cloud, we are going to get our own isolated space, network space. Remember, network space, where we are going to construct our own network stops. Okay, where we can launch AWS resources in a virtual network that you define. That means everything now we are going to create. So far, we are working on the default AWS thing. Now we are going to create our own. So the next one is we can have complete control over your virtual networking environment. Like if you create your own house, own bungalow, that everything, all control will be on your hand. But in case of society, you have to only complain to the society head or the president of the society or whoever it is. So you have to only just raise a complaint. Similarly, if you are going to for any default services from the Amazon, what you have to do? You have to only complain to them, or you have to just raise a request, raise an incident that please fix this issue or fix something. If in your society there is a plumbing, there is some water leakage or something, you have to raise the concern to the president or to the society head or society manager. Then they have to look into that. But if you it is happened to your bungalow, to your own house, so this is your responsibility to fix it, right? Same thing, same concept here. So we can have complete control over your virtual networking environment, including selections of your own IP addresses, creation of subnet, configuration of route table, configuration of network gateway. Everything will be in your hand. Now, from the scratch, we'll learn how to create IP addresses, how to create subnet, how to set up the route table, how to create the network gateway. Okay, so what else you can do? You can customize the network configurations of your own VPC. You can create a public facing subnet of your web servers that has access to the internet. What you can do? You can create a public facing subnet of your web server that has access to the internet and place your backend system such as database in the private facing server, private facing subnet. So remember guys, private servers, what stuff you are going to put it? You will be always keep your databases on your private server, because database only contains the crucial information and sensitive information, and that you never want to share with public. How the public will access your database? They will access through the UI to the front end, and that front end will be only publicly accessible. So when a customer is hitting your server, suppose Amazon e-commerce site, suppose I am hitting the server to searching for a product, I only see the front end applications and search for the product. But when we are hitting and searching for that one, what will happen? It will connect to the database, which is in private server, private instances. From there, it will get and fetch the record and display in front of us. Okay, that setups also we'll do, and we'll see how we can put one server in private subnet and another server in public subnet. So one question for you guys: in Mumbai region, how many subnets are there? How many subnets you can create in Mumbai region?
Default will be
Three,
Three.
three subnets.
Yes, so three subnets. So remember guys, for availability zone, only one subnet can be created. Okay, one subnet equal to one availability zone. That's why default Mumbai location has three availability zone. So we can create only three subnets, not more than that. Three subnets, but you can create multiple servers and assign one subnet to that. But remember, one subnet is for one availability zone. Okay, be careful that. And Amazon has also 25 other regions, and few region they have four or five or six availability zones. Okay, they will have five or six availability zones, or five or six subnets can be created. So what else you can do with this VPC? You can customize the network configurations of your own VPC. You can create a public facing subnet of your own web server and private facing subnet for your database. Also, what you can else do, multiple layers of securities can be provided. So far we have worked on the security groups only. So security, what is the security groups? That is nothing but the setting up the firewalls or whitelisting your servers, whitelisting the IP addresses, or providing firewall access to the port. That concept is security group in the AWS. But if you go for any other cloud provider, you will find something different concept for the securities. They will have a different naming convention for that. Okay. Also, what will do the setups? The NACL. NACL is nothing but your network access control list. network access control list. So we'll just go for that network access control list. We'll go for more on this NACL and how we'll see how we can set up network access control list to allow and deny the servers. Okay, and this is the project diagram, guys, and this is what I'm going to create from the scratch. Going to create from the scratch. So what I'm going to create? So what we'll see, we'll first create a subnet which will be public facing and another subnet. The first thing we'll create, see, just think about this diagram. What is there in this diagram? We have the first layer, first this square thing is the region. Which region you want to create your, you want to rent a space. Which region you are going to buy your network space. Suppose I selected up south 1. Next is I'm going to create a VPC. It is nothing but the network space. I'm going to get a network space. And in this network space, in this area, I am going to construct my things. What else do I need? My requirement is to create one public subnet, one private subnet, or four public subnet, or two public subnet, one private subnet. And in that subnet, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one EC2 instance, which will be your applications, UI applications, because normally front ends and UI applications will be customer facing or public facing. Okay. And the second one will keep our database in the private subnet. And we'll see how we'll connect this private subnet through public subnet and how the internet traffic will flow based on the, we'll set up the route table and then internet will set up the internet gateway. Okay, and we'll see how it is getting routed. Okay, so this is the real diagram now. Okay, the complete entire diagram, this is the complete entire diagram how this EC2 instances in the private subnet can access to the internet through NAT gateway. Okay, this is network access translator gateway, network access transition gateway. Okay, through this we can access the private subnet. Okay, now we'll see everything in diagram. Whatever we have done, all we'll see in the lab. We'll create and all. So before that, let's understand few theoretical concept. Then next class will entirely do the projects. Okay, that will be our final project of cloud. Now, okay, what else things we can do in a VPC with a VPC? So we can launch instances into a subnet of our own choice. We can launch instances into a subnet of our own choice. Which subnet you will decide. You don't have to, suppose you are going, if you're selecting default VPC, what happens? Based on the choice given by AWS, they are putting your server in that particular subnet. You don't have any control when you are choosing default VPC. But when you are choosing your custom VPC, you will decide where and which location, which availability zone you want to put your server. Suppose I want to put in Mumbai availability zone, suppose in Andheri one availability zone, or in Navi Mumbai, or suppose in Chennai one, in Bangalore one. It's up to you which subnet you want to choose it, in Chennai or in Bangalore. That you can do it. So you can launch your instance into a subnet of your own choice. And the second one is assign custom IP address ranges in each subnet. So IP address also you can choose what IP addresses you want for your server. And you can configure the route table between subnets. What kind of routing mechanism you have to set up. It's completely under your control. You have to do all these setups. The next one is create internet gateway and attach into the VPC. See, when you create a house or a bungalow, if we don't create a road which is connect to your house, then how people will reach your location? They cannot go, because if you put in one field and you don't have a road connection or connectivity to your house, nobody can reach you. Similarly, when you set up a VPC, you should have create one internet gateway. That is the entry point of your internet, so that people can reach through this internet gateway to your VPC. That is, we'll see how to create the internet gateway. The next is EC2 instance security groups. That will see we already have worked on the security groups in our instance creation, but this one also will see how to set up the security groups, our own security groups in the VPC. And then we'll say how to set up the NACL, network access control list, subnet network access control list. That also we'll see it. And one point is to understand default VPC is user friendly. Default VPC is user friendly means you don't have to bother about all these. You don't have to bother about subnet, IP address, gateway creation, route table creation, security group creation, network access control list creation. You don't have to bother about anything, right? Only you have to choose the default VPC, and the complete headache is under AWS. Now AWS will take entire headaches for you. They will create everything for you. That is why default VPC is user friendly. So whenever you are going some practices, doing some practices or something, always choose the default VPC. It will save your time. And but your real work in organizations, you have to create your custom VPC. You should know how to create the custom VPC. So default VPC, it allows us to immediately deploy our instances. Okay, because everything will be already ready and ready made, and you're just getting it and deploying your instances or your server or applications. Okay. Now, what else we'll understand? We'll see VPC peering. So this is very important. There are few concepts I'm going to cover in this section, and you all this is very important to understand, and you may get some questions, as well as if you're going for certifications also, it will be there. So what is VPC peering? It allows you to connect one VPC with another via a direct network route using private IP addresses. Okay, we can peer VPCs with other AWS accounts as well as with other VPC in the same account. So one central VPC can peer into 4 others. Suppose you have in your account, suppose you created 2 or 3 VPC, because always you have to create only 1 or 2 VPC or 3 VPC. If you don't want to put your applications, if you have 3 applications and you don't want to put all these 3 applications in the same network place, you want to keep in the separate network place, then you can go for multiple VPC. Okay, so what it says, one central VPC can peer into 4 other VPCs. So what is VPC peering means? It allow you to connect one VPC to the another VPC. Suppose my EC2 server is in this VPC and my S3 is in this VPC, and I want to connect from EC2 to this S3. How I'll connect? Using the VPC peering technique. VPC peering technique. Okay. Now, what is this? One central VPC can peer into 4 others. Just remember this point. Next slide, I'll show you the diagram. Transitive peering is not possible from one VPC to another VPC via other VPC. The transitive peering, what this meaning is, direct connectivity between one VPC to another VPC is possible. But if I want to connect from one VPC A to VPC B, VPC C, suppose is there. Okay, in the next diagram it will be easy to display you. Just see the diagram here. I have, suppose, 5 VPCs here. One central VPC. What it says? One central VPC can peer into 4 others. I have one central VPC, which is VPC A. You can see here it is peering to VPC D, B, C, and E. That is possible. It is because these are the direct peering. This is connecting to E, this is connecting to E, B connecting to A, C connecting to A, but B cannot connect to D using VPC A. So this way is not possible. So if you want to connect from here to this is not a good one. Suppose if I want to connect VPC B to VPC C and A, okay, VPC B, A and D. This is not possible. This is not possible. This is called transitive peering, and transitive peering is not possible. So what we can do it instead, what you can do, we can connect VPC B to D through direct peering. Here you can see through direct peering it has connected, but through VPC A to D you cannot connect it. Remember, only the direct peering can be possible, one end to another end. So here in this here I have example just written it here. VPC A can talk with all other VPCs because it is direct transitive. Sorry, direct VPC peering. Similarly, VPC B can talk only to VPC A. VPC B cannot talk to VPC D via VPC A. That is, transitive peering is not possible. VPC D it cannot be working. However, VPC B can talk with VPC D directly via VPC peering. Directly via VPC peering. Okay, so you understood clearly on this peering things. So what is peering? First thing is to connect from one VPC to another VPC. So when we need to connect that one, guys, can anybody tell when we need to connect from one VPC to another VPC? In which scenario? Okay, I just told you just few minutes before I told you, right? If I have a server in VPC B, if I have a server in VPC B EC2 instance, but my storage, that S3, is in another VPC, suppose VPC B or VPC C. In VPC B I have my server, and VPC C I have my storage systems. All my storage is there in VPC C. In that case, I need to connect from VPC B to VPC C to access my applications, to access my storage. That I have to use VPC peering. Okay, so you should understand when you need to do that, and if there is a requirement comes, and what technique you should use, that is VPC peering. Okay, so few points to remember, guys. This is very important. So VPC consists of
Ranjit,
yeah, yes, sure.
one question here.
Mhm.
This all are server only. Whatever the VPC we have, 5-star server. In which technology means like that ring, mesh, or star? Or means which bus topology they are following in Amazon?
That actually not sure about that, which topology they are following it. So
Okay.
that will be entirely networking stuff, which we cannot cover because this bus topologies at all is totally entirely networking stuff, right? So cloud networking is
Okay.
totally different.
As per my what I understand, it is star technology only, and not star only.
See,
It is star only.
star technology, that is the star topology they are using, definitely that will be there. So the network concept, if you see the star technology, the topology, they will be using that one. So this is just simply a diagram which gives you a star looks like, but it is not exactly look like. So these are not the servers. These are not the server actually. What are
Okay.
these are not servers. These are the network. These are the network place that you can say these are the networks, not the
Okay.
server or EC2 instances, separate EC2 instances. These are the network isolated space in one of your VPC or imagined data center. Okay, you are going to isolate your stops into that. So in this VPC, you can put as many as servers you want. In VPC B, you can create hundreds of servers or hundreds of databases, whatever you want. You can create in VPC B 100 servers, VPC E 100 servers. That's okay. You can do it that, right?
Okay.
Thank
Then
you.
if you put 100 server here, BPCB, and 100 server in BPCE, if they want to talk with two servers, they have to how they will connect it between that. I want to know through IP address, but like that server client model, or how it is.
Yeah, the
I
server
think in
client.
the second picture it is there.
Yeah, so here,
Second slide or that way.
yeah, we'll see how that will connect in this. That
Okay.
we'll see in the second slide here. We'll discuss about. So here, whatever we discussed about, right? BPC consists of Internet Gateway Route Table, Network Access Control List, Subnets, and Security Groups. So this will be available in the BPCs. We already have seen, but we have not created it. Everything we are using the default one. So remember, guys, as I told, one subnet is equal to one availability zone. But one availability zone can have multiple subnets. One subnet equal to one availability zone, but one availability zone can have multiple subnets. Okay, security groups are stateful, but NACLs are stateless. Security groups are stateful, but NACLs are stateless. We'll see an example when we create security groups and NACL, and to see how it is working and why it is stateful and why it is stateless. So no transitive peering is possible. Okay, no transitive peering is possible. That's what we'll see. Okay, so in this diagram, what we saw, we have one public subnet, and here we have one private subnet. One public subnet and private subnet. But the thing is, whatever is there in private subnet, if we don't provide any network access, if we don't provide any internet access, what will happen? We cannot connect to this server. Even though we connected to this server using the private IPs from public to private, we cannot install any applications. We cannot upgrade anything, because for installing and upgrading or anything, what we need internet connection. As it is in private subnet, we cannot directly give connection to the internet gateway through the route table. So once you give the connectivity to the this route table, it will not anymore private, it will become public, because it has a direct internet connectivity through the internet gateway. If you see this diagram here, the routing table, through route table we are connecting to the public. But how we get internet connectivity within the private subnet? By using the NAT gateway. By using the NAT gateway. So this NAT gateway will be in public subnet. We'll connect this private subnet to the NAT gateway, and through the NAT gateway it will come to the route table and then to the internet gateway. So how secure it is? See, all this through comes through the public. No direct connectivity to the private subnet. Okay, so let's see what is this NAT gateway. This NAT gateway is network address translation. That is, NAT gateway is a highly available AWS managed service. So when we create the NAT gateway, right, we don't have to create or manage anything. Simply choose the NAT gateway. Let me just log into our things and show you how it can be done. So guys, where you will find the VPC, just go to the services, under network and content delivery, you will find VPC. You'll find VPC. Just go with this VPC. See, this is our VPC dashboard. You'll see how complicated it is, right? There are lots of stops are there. So let's first understand. Okay, let me just go through all these dashboard stops and all. Then we'll move forward to the other stuff. Okay, to move forward to the network, NAT gateway, and other stuffs to discuss. So here, what happens here? We have one VPC. Remember, guys, when you okay, I'm just asking you one question. When you create AWS account, how many VPC and how many subnets will be created? When you create your AWS account, how many VPCs and how many subnets will be created?
One VPC, three subnet, most probably.
Yes.
And what else will be created? By default, what else?
Security group.
Default security group will be there.
Default security group, default internet gateway, default route table, default everything default will be there. One default will be there. Okay. See, if I so here, one VPC will be default there, three subnets default there, one route table will be there. Because if there is one VPC, then default route table, default internet gateway, default network access, default security group must be there, because we are going to use the VPC, and the VPC must, everything should be there to access to the internet, right? So if you go here, I have one VPC will be there over here. See, I have one VPC ID, and it has the CIDR block of 172.31.00.16. So in our next class, so tomorrow's class, we'll discuss about this CIDR block. We'll discuss about the IP ranges and how to create the subnet. What is this 16 and 32 and all, right? We'll discuss more details on that. So here, if you just click on this VPC, you'll find the VPC details over here. So VPC ID and main route table. See this VPC, which route table is it is connected, and the main network access control list. Okay, all these are connected here. Now, if I go here, the CIDR blocks also, it is actually associated with 172.31.00/16. This is the CIDR block. It is assigned. All tags, flow logs, everything you can find it here. So let me go to the dashboard again. One VPC, you'll find three subnets. Based on three subnets is equal to three availability zone. Here we have three subnets, different subnets with three availability zone. And if you see here the CIDR range, based on the VPC CIDR range, it will be created. So the CIDR range for VPC, it was 172.31.00, but here based on that CIDR block it is created. Okay, we'll discuss further. And see, all these three subnets have three availability zones: 1A, 1B, 1C. So when you choose default VPC to create any instance, what will happen? The AWS or Amazon will decide where to create the server. It's not under your control. Will decide, Amazon will decide where to be created. Okay, so that's availability zone. By default it will put, and here the route table, the same route table is assigned to the all subnets, and here also. And remember, when you're going to create a custom VPC, the route tables and everything will be customized by you, and you can create as many route table as you want. You can create it. Okay, got that? And let me explain something else, that VPC dashboard. Okay, and we have one route table as well. Okay, what is this route table? See, okay, this route table is having the VPC, the route table is attached to the default VPC. And here the routes. See, here is the VPC CIDR block, and here is the network gateway. This route table is associated or attached to this internet gateway. That means, and this internet gateway is having the destination is public. That's why when we set up the VPC default VPC through this route table, it goes to the internet gateway. If we see this diagram, our diagram, right? This is default suppose, and it will connect through this route table to the router to the internet gateway. All this is I think default VPC. Okay, now let's see route table, internet gateway. There will be one default internet gateway will be there, network ACLs, but I have 12 security groups. By default, it will have one security group, but 12 security group displays means I have created 12 security groups in Mumbai region. Remember, this VPC is region specific. One questions guide for everyone. Which services of AWS are not region specific? Are not region specific. One or two services, guys, can you tell me?
EFS, sir.
No.
S3
Billing.
or
S3.
Yes, S3. S3 IAM, right? S3 IAM, those are, and there are a few others also there, which we have not covered, but those are also not region specific. Those are globally available. So EFS is not that elastic file system, right? It's not region, sorry, it's not globally, right? It's not, it is actually region specific. Which region you are going to create your file system, right? Okay, so the security groups, if I go here, I have 12 security groups available. 12 security groups available. Okay, now if you see it here, this VPC, what is there? It has all Mumbai region because I have selected the Mumbai region. So let's change this to some different region. Suppose I am changing to Singapore, or let's change to Hong Kong. Okay, I'm changing to Hong Kong. Enable SCA pay specifically. You can control whether users in your access it. Okay, so it is giving some instructions before choosing for Hong Kong region. I'm not sure for it is not same for other region. Okay. Oh, okay. Hong Kong region is disabled. Hmm. For my account, it is disabled, and it's some giving some information on that. Okay, let's go for any other things. Why should I go for Hong Kong? Let's choose something else then. Yeah. Okay, let's choose something Singapore or regular one. So I just converted to Singapore region now. If I go to the VPC, you will see the exact default will be there because I have not created anything in the Singapore region. Okay, so exact default things you will find it out. See, one. But still security groups I have created three. Okay, one should be there, but I have created two more. Here also you'll find the Singapore region, one VPC, three subnets, and all these things will be there. Same if you want to change to Northern California also, you'll have the same things. But here everything should be by okay. Here security group one, all are default. But here we see the subnets for Northern California actually two. The subnets for Northern California actually two. You can create two subnets in this region. Okay, so that's all about this VPCs I just showed you. Let's discuss about the network gateway. Okay, so what is this network gateway? This network gateway, NAT gateway is the network address translation gateway is a highly available AWS managed service that makes it easy to connect to the internet from instances within a private subnet in an Amazon VPC. What it means, it is easy to connect to the internet from instances within a private subnet. So if you don't give your private instance to internet directly, what you have to do, you have to provide the internet through the network gateway, NAT gateway. So guys, you will get a questions, then how you will provide and access your net private subnet or private server, how you'll provide internet to the private server or private net private subnet using NAT gateway. Okay, using the NAT gateway. So the instances in the public subnet can send outbound traffic directly to the internet, whereas the instances in the private subnet cannot. Instead, the instances in the private subnet can access internet using a network address translation, that is NAT gateway, that resides in the public subnet. So NAT gateway will be reside in the public subnet. Through that way we'll connect it. So the database servers can connect to the internet for software updates, any migrations work using the NAT gateway, but the internet cannot establish connections to the database server. There will be no direct internet connectivity. Okay. So that you can see it here in this diagram. So it have this NAT gateway and this EC2 instances, which is in the private subnet, has connectivity direct to the NAT gateway, and through NAT gateway it gets access. So next, think about what is this network? What is this network ACL or network access control list or NACL? What is this? This is actually the NACL is a set of rules. The ACL is a set of rules defined for controlling the network traffic. Defined to control the network traffic and reducing the network attack. ACLs are used to filter traffic based on the set of rules defined in the incoming and outgoing of the network. So in the security groups, when we do security groups, what it does, we provide and we whitelist some ports, whitelist some IP addresses. That means those particular IP addresses can able to connect your server, can able to connect your server. But what we have seen there, specifically we cannot block any of the IP addresses. We cannot block any IP addresses, but we can provide or restrict accesses by allowing accesses to few IP addresses. But in case of network access control list, if you want to block particular IP addresses, you can just provide that IP addresses in the network access control list, it will be blocked. Okay, that we'll see how we can do that. The other thing is what it says, the network access control list is an optional layer of security for your VPC that acts as a firewall again for controlling traffic in and out of one or more subnets. If you have already security groups or firewall added to your servers, you don't need network access control list to be in place. This is actually an added or an optional or advanced or added security to your network, to your VPC. Similarly, if you have in your house, if you have a security guard already sitting there to watch your house, but you are going to add, suppose, the CCTV cameras, that is added security, advanced or some extra security for your house. Same thing we are going to do it here. Already we are having one security group which is providing firewall to the and secure, providing secure to our server, but on top of that we are going to put an extra security. For that we have to put the NACL. And you can, what is the advantages of ACL? The advantages are improved network performance. It improves the network performance, provides security as administrator can configure the access list according to the needs and deny the unwanted packets from entering the network. You can deny, but in case of security groups, you cannot deny anything. You can just provide allowing, but deny is not there in security groups. Okay. It provides control over the traffic as it can permit or deny according to the need of your network, which you can permit and deny. That kind of setups you can do it. Okay, so that is all about this network access control list guy NACL. So far we are able to provide this NACL. In our next class, we'll discuss about this VPC endpoint, which is very important to know, and then transit gateway. These three two will discuss. Okay, network gateway, transit gateway, and all this. And then in our next class, we'll do the lab exercises. Okay, so tomorrow we'll do the complete lab exercises starting from creating from VPC, and everything will create it. Okay. Okay, guys. So if you have any doubt or anything, we can discuss, or we'll just connect tomorrow and we'll proceed with VPC again. Okay.